Well, we have some new information about the woke banking industry, specifically the NatWest Group and Coutts and Co. The battle between Coutts and Co. and Nigel Farage that escalated. They've even sent out an apology, but they're still not giving him his account back. They're still saying, well, we're going to offer you alternative arrangements at NatWest. But the problem is with the NatWest Group that controls Coutts and Co. and other banks and branches, because the fundamental guidelines come from the NatWest Group, and we've discovered something very, very interesting. So there's been an infiltration of the Marxist mentality that's been going on. It's nothing new for the past few decades, right? When it comes to our cultural institutions, the political establishment, the media, art, entertainment, everything, academia mostly. And this is perfect because it just shows as a great example of the BLM movement and those who kept pushing and pushing, all the lobbyists, all the campaigners, all the ones who took all the money from the people and built mansions for themselves, and now BLM in America filing bankruptcy. It's completely chaotic. This is about the influence of the BLM movement and mentality in our banking sector, specifically the NatWest Group. They decided to, following the rise of BLM back in 2020, to set up this, do this report to set up essentially a task force. They actually posted on their own website, NatWest, saying, we have set out our commitments to racial equality. A colleague-led task force established by CEO Alison Rose has launched a report on racial equality for our customers, colleagues, and communities. The report includes a set of commitments and a new target for Black colleagues in senior roles to make a meaningful, positive difference to people from Black, Asian, and minority ethnic backgrounds. So that's the BAME or BAME, which apparently is now not woke to say. It's unwoke, basically. You're not allowed to say BAME anymore. They came up with the word, well, with the acronym, and they said, no, you can't say it. It's so rude. Now, this is obviously the initial the task force that was created. This was in October 2020, 20th of October 2020. They actually said, following what happened after the whole George Floyd stuff that happened in America, not even here. And they even point out, they even mentioned BLM, the BLM movement. They said because of that, we're going to set up this task force and do a report and find ways to be nice, right? And progressive and modernized. Oh, so nice. Socialist. Now, a year later, whereby actually, it was in May, actually, May 2021, the 6th of May, they also did an update. They said, in October 2020, we published a report on racial equality and set out commitments to support BAME colleagues and communities. Here is an update on the progress so far. They published the report and all the updates and everything else. And since then, they've had the guidelines. So these guidelines are the reason that they went after people like Nigel Farage. And Nigel Farage is not the only one. It's not the first one. It's not going to be the last one. And as I said, this is not really just about the BLM movement. These sort of cancel culture stuff has been happening for years. When it happened to Katie Hopkins and Tommy Robinson and many others in the past, no one said anything at the time because it was just not politically incorrect. But the new guidelines are affecting a lot of other people like Nigel Farage. And in fact, there has been some issues around it that David Davis, actually, the Tory MP, the Libertarian Tory MP, came out to say, this demonstrates that this is not simply about Farage. It's right across the board, which is consistent with what I have heard, that thousands have had their bank accounts closed in the last year or two just because they might be tweeting something controversial or politically incorrect. Are you kidding me with this? So, we know that Alison Rose became the CEO of the NatWest Group in 2019, and a year later everything went woke with that bank, earning £5.25 million in 2021. Rose hoped that the report on the racial equality produced in October 2020 would lead to employees of all races aspiring to work at the bank, but they're not allowed to tweet mean things. Because even if you're brown, and if you tweet something conservative, for example, or nationalist, you're no longer brown. Oh, no. You, sir, are a coconut. So that's what they believe. That's what they've been saying this whole time. And the bank said that we have updated the instances in which we close or convert an account to include if we suspect an account is being used to abusively avoid tax, a client's actions, including racist or discriminatory conduct, or if we are exposed to action or censure by any government, regulator, or law enforcement agency, including those outside the UK. Even outside the UK. Now, a client of Coutts & Co. for almost 30 years told the Times, a newspaper, that my overriding concern was who would be the arbiter to determine acceptable conduct? Well, that's a very good point. Very good question, because those who create the lines and boundaries of morality, or they come up with the intent to have morality in place, right? The new modern progressive morality, then who's going to be the judge? Who's going to be the god of morality to decide what you just said here is okay? It's just a little bit edgy. But what you just said here, that's just completely not acceptable. You have to be cancelled. You have to move to Rwanda or something like that. This is the problem, because they are becoming everything themselves, the jury, the judge, the executioner and everything else. And nobody in the establishment said anything until Nigel Farage or people like him using the big platform to challenge it. This is a sad part of this whole saga and the scandal. But we have a platform now. Our new media outlet continues to grow. We get more views than the mainstream media. Thanks to your support, a lot of our campaigns have been successful. So considering with all the chaotic stuff that's been going on in recent days and weeks, I think we need you more than ever before, your support. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and share the video. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.